Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR 25 career mode here on the channel. I hope you all having a great day. Today we have two races coming your way from North Wilkesboro, the All-Star race, racing for $1 million, and then we head out to Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600. Strap in. It is going to be a bit of a lengthy one now, as the All-Star race is pretty short, so I wanted to combine it into just one video with the Coke 600 now, and as well kind of test out doing two races in one video kind of format as well on top of that. As we come through here into practice here from North Wilkesboro, and immediately I was feeling pretty good about the pace of this Target number 15 Junior Motorsports Chevrolet, and we finished practice P2 on the board, and I was like, yep, we have got some speed here this weekend. As you see the rest of the order, Connor Zilish in the All-Star field this weekend. We're just going to say he won the fan vote for the lower purposes now as we focus in on qualifying here. The sun's starting to set now, and can we back up what we just did in practice? Now you get 2 laps of qualifying here from North Wilkesboro now as we exit turn 2, and feeling very, very good right there. But I knew I had a bit more in the tank right now as we continue through turns 3 and 4, and really loose on the exit right there, but we come through to the line with an 18.334, and as we continue rolling out of turn 2 with that goal of a top 20 down the back straightaway into turn 3 for the final time, I felt like overall this was a little bit better of a lap. And as we exit turn 4, will we beat the 18.334? 18.250 puts us row 4, P8. Not as strong, honestly, as I was anticipating, but less than 0.2 of a second off of pole position. So clearly we've come with some speed, and at the back of the field you got John Hunter, Noah Gragson, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Only one time per season, of course, you get this exhibition all-star race, and tonight we fight for $1 million. What a statement it would be if the first win of our Cup Series career came in the All-Star race. Now, of course, it would be a race that wouldn't count as an actual win in terms of career wins, but it would be an exhibition win, an All-Star win as well, and I would love to make it happen today, and I feel like it's possible based off the pace that we showed in practice. Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney lead the field to green. The All-Star race from North Wilkesboro is underway here, and immediately driving deep there down into turn 1. Now we'll get a good exit on the exit of turn 2 right there down the SPAC straightaway. Kyle Larson side by side with Joey Logano, who actually does return to action here in North Wilkesboro. It was anticipated that he was going to be out for the All-Star race, but with the concussion-like symptoms after missing 2 races, he's actually back here in North Wilkesboro now, and of course expected to be back in the car for Charlotte and scoring some points now as we are to the inside here of the progressive number 11 of Denny Hamlin. 63 laps of racing here in the All-Star race. It's pretty straightforward. It's going to be a one-stop race as we'll actually continue working our way forward on the inside line, passing Kyle Larson shortly thereafter to the inside of the 45, passing Tyler Reddick, and then we would get to the inside of the 22 of Joey Logano, a previous winner of this All-Star race a few times now. And as we exit turn 2, we'll be able to get the lunge here into turn 3. We should be able to clear that Shell Pennzoil forward, and sure enough we will, up into P6, and we continue to march our way forward now, running down Ryan Blaney, who left the inside wide open here on lap 10, coming to lap 11. Couldn't quite pounce on it, so I knew we were going to have to get a little bit physical, but actually, hold on, a bit of contact right there, but Blaney left the door open. I was about to say, we're going to probably have to get physical throughout this race right now, as Christopher Bell, though, has driven away from the field. Chase Elliott runs P2 over William Byron. How about Brad Keselowski up here in the top 5 as we do clear the 12 of Ryan Blaney, and now focus in on getting to the 6 of Keselowski, and we are very quickly running him down. Trouble up ahead is the 9. Your defending Cup Series champion Chase Elliott into the outside wall. Caution is out, and surprisingly, everybody is going to stay on the racetrack from the looks of it. So we'll stay out as well and get ready to go back green. And now Christopher Bell, of course, drops all the way back to everybody else that he had kind of run away from. Now is on this restart. Ryan Blaney able to get way better of a launch into turn one. He'll clear us now as Chase Elliott, who just crashed, still up there up front. Now, of course, we'll wait and see if he's got the speed or not to hang on. Very hit or miss, 50-50. Sometimes a driver crashes and then they just plummet down the order. Sometimes they hold on to a good pace. But it looks like Chase Elliott being on the outside is kind of hard to tell because you're going to go backwards regardless. But here we are now looking to the inside of the Amazon number 9, and immediately as well getting to the inside of the 6 of Keselowski, bringing Ryan Blaney with myself as well into turn number 3 we go. And Christopher Bell, William Byron, your top 2, but we move into P3 and we continue to showcase some strong speed. Come lap 28, we had driven away from Ryan Blaney and others and had gotten to the back of the Exalta 24 Chevrolet Camaro of William Byron, looking for P2. Could tonight be the night we win a Cup Series race? Like I said, it would kind of be funny because we'd win $1 million. But the problem is it wouldn't count as a win to our actual career tally. As we lay the bumper to the 24, Byron still gets to run up the corner, but he kind of gets the idea, gets the hint that I'm quicker, leaves the door open. Of course, we do have an alliance with Hendrick Motorsports, and William Byron's going to let us roll through. We'll clear him now and set our sights on the number 20 of Christopher Bell as we continue all the way to lap 39 and closing in on some pit stops at this point now, as William Byron has now dropped in behind Ryan Blaney for 4th now as the 12 moves into the 3rd position. And now the leader of Christopher Bell has entered lap traffic. So that's going to play an interesting role because early on, you can see it's allowing me to close in on him. But the problem is I'm going to have to then get to these cars as well. And therefore, that's going to allow the 20 to kind of open that gap back up as we pull up to the back of 3 fellow Chevrolets, a Trackhouse car, an RCR car, a Hendrick car of Alex Bowman, who's still searching for a ride. And we lay the bumper to the full-time rookie of Zillashire, trying to work our way forward, even leaning on his door there. With 20 laps to go in this race, Bell continues to lead the way now. And he, as well as others, now actually coming to the pits on the end of lap 45. So we take the lead of this race, and this is where things are going to get interesting. Crew chief calls me in, and we are going to come in. We're going to take 2 tires. We're going to take 2 tires and no adjustments outside of that. Now here's the surprise that I'm not aware of in this moment. So we come into the pits. Christopher Bell and everybody else, they're taking 4. So we're the only one taking 2 tires, meaning we, for once, are going to gain ground. But obviously, we're going to be struggling because we have older tires. So we're going to come out in, I think, a net lead of this race with about 15 laps to go here in North Wilkesboro. But obviously, if we get a caution, we're going to be doomed because we'll be on old tires. 4 fresh tires are going to be all over us.
Outside.
And as we come through to lap 49, approaching lap 50, passing Stenhouse there. And we're going to come to the start-finish line and see Denny Hamlin's coming into the pits now as well. Alex Bowman's in front of us. Kyle Larson, he's going to come into the pits. And when all was said and done, we don't cycle out to the lead. We cycle out to P2. Bell will cycle into 3rd. Alex Bowman is staying on the racetrack. And I think what happened was, I believe on that one caution we had earlier, I think he was the only driver that pitted. And I believe they are just barely inside the fuel window, basically, of being able to make it to the end. So now we have to hustle, and we were hustling. We were reeling him in fast here with just over 5 laps to go, and you can see up ahead Bowman is engulfed in traffic as I'm going to lay the bumper to the 19 of Briscoe, who's going a lap down here. Christopher Bell still 4.5 seconds behind me with 5 laps to go. He is not going to get here. 2 tires were the right call, and all of a sudden, reality's kicking in. We are running down Alex Bowman, and we are about to win a NASCAR Cup Series race, albeit it's an exhibition race, it's an all-star race, but it's for $1 million. We got 3 Hendrick cars right here, but they don't care about their teammate who's on the way out at the end of the season. We are going to roll right up to the back of the 48 Ally Financial Chevrolet, out of turn 2, down the SPAC straightaway, side by side, into turn 3. We're going to do it. We're going to take the lead, come into the final couple of laps over Alex Bowman. And now it's just about hanging on, hoping for no caution now with just a couple of laps to go. And green, it is staying. Coming to the final lap in Wilkesboro, we have got a 3.5 second margin on Christopher Bell. And oh my goodness, can you believe it? We're going to do it. out of turn 2, down the back straightaway, 2-tire call was the way to go. I don't think I had enough for the 20 if we did the same thing. And we, out of turn 4, are a NASCAR Cup Series winner. We just won $1 million for Junior Motorsports. We win the All-Star race in North Wilkesboro and continue the momentum, shifting our way in our second full-time season as we get out to celebrate. I did not do a burnout because I don't believe in doing a burnout until we have won a points-paying race. But we just finally won a Cup Series event here, and it's the All-Star race. $1 million for the team to also, on top of that, be able to make some in-house upgrades in terms of personnel. And we would spend a chunk of that money making personnel upgrades and hiring some new engineers that have a little bit more R&D capacity and as well work point capacity. That's just going to allow us to do a little bit more work on every car, every race. Now, as we come through into Charlotte for the Coke 600, and now with a complete new energy. We're coming off of a lot of success. We've been getting our name up there towards the front, and now we have won the All-Star race. But the question is, can we come into Charlotte in the Coke 600, the longest race of the season, 4-stage race? Can we win what I would still consider our first Cup race and legitimately, the first points-paying race as we come through into practice and immediately getting a bit of a dose of reality. The car wasn't where I wanted it to be right now. It was a little bit on the tight side, so I knew immediately we were going to need to make some pretty significant adjustments to this car to get it into a capacity of fighting in the top 5 and being able to go for a race win. Now, as we were continuing to struggle, we were able to drive forward. We were passing the likes of the 50, which should be easy, passing Allmendinger. It was Byron and Larson who were top 2 in practice, but we still would end up top 20 in practice, which was a bit of a promising sign. You see the rest of the practice order there, and going into qualifying, I would make a change. So we would go into the setup, and I would start to mess around just basically with just a few of the ride heights, basically on all ends of the car, the spring rate, sorry, not the ride height. And you can see me changing every spring rate right here and hoping I'm just going to free up the car a little bit more. On top of that, a wedge adjustment as well. So as we come through into qualifying, my hope is that is going to make a pretty significant difference in terms of handling in a good way. And as we come through to qualifying, through 1 and out of turn 2, you saw the look of surprise on my face on the right. That was not good. That was, oh boy, the car is even tighter than it was in practice. So I made a terrible adjustment, and we're going to pay the price because we're going to run a terrible qualifying lap. We're going to come through to the start-finish line, 25th. A huge blunder on my part right there, and we're going to have to revert the adjustments and then try to do something different. Kyle Larson on pole for the Coke 600 over Hamlin, Reddick, Byron, Briscoe, your top 5. You see the rest of the order through the top 20. Ty Gibbs there in 17th. Jones rounding out the top 20. And Daniel Suarez down there in 30th. Zilish in Coke 600 full-time season debut in the top 25. And Burt Myers at the bottom of the grid. My part-time teammate Justin Allgaier joining us in the field in 39th as we head to the grid here now Sunday evening, ready to go racing in the GovX colors. One note, if we finish top 22, I think it is, in this race, we will get a new sponsor offer from Jack Links. So definitely another incentive to, of course, run well here under the lights in Charlotte soon enough. Now, as it's 100 laps of racing, we've got our work cut out for us. We're coming off of a win in the All-Star race. There's going to be some extra eyes on what this 15 team can do here today as the green flag is out and the Coke 600 is underway. It's 25 lap stages all the way through. Stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Keep in mind, Coke 600, the only race on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule that has a 4th extra stage on top of it. Now, personally, I'm actually not a huge fan of that. I think it would be better if it was just 3 stages and we had a really long final stage to really let the race play out strategy-wise, but it is what it is, and we, of course, are just going to continue to race no different and continue to work our way forward. Now, here's the thing. We, of course, start here in the mid-20s as we complete this first and opening lap here with SVG on our rear bumper, giving us a nice shove here into turn 1. But the fact that we start in the midfield, it's going to be difficult to pass. It's going to be hard to work our way forward. So in stage 1 and maybe even stage 2, depending on how the plan works out. But here in stage 1, we're going to look at pitting on the early side of the fuel run, of the fuel window, and therefore we can gain some track position with that fresh rubber and then try to hold on to the best we can of that track position to the end of the stage. Everyone, of course, will be forced to come in again, and then it's like a bit of a reset, and hopefully we gain some overall track position. So I'm not expecting to go very far early in this race. I mean, if we can just get into the top 20 by the time we pit, I'll be pretty content with that. But as we're now to the outside of the Cheddar's 8 of Kyle Busch, I was still finding that the car was still on the tight side, and this was after reverting the setup from what we had in qualifying to the setup that we had in practice, and then a little bit of a wedge adjustment on top of that. But we're still right here in the battle with, you know, Carson Hocevar, Austin Cindric here on the left side, Kyle Busch there just in front of us, but we're not really going anywhere in the first 6 complete laps of this race, and getting back down to the inside would allow me to the inside of Hocevar and SVG again as Kyle Larson continues to lead early on here in this race. Of course, now through the middle goes the 77 of Hocevar, 3 wide into turn number 1, but clearly as the 77 actually slides down across my nose, but clearly we got some work to do, and we can go about 15 to 16 laps on a full tank of fuel. So as soon as we hit lap 10, we're good. We can go to the end basically on fuel. So I was already looking at coming into the pits here momentarily, and we have only worked our way into 22nd place. And immediately we're going to make the call to pit right now and undercut the entire field. So we're going to take 4 tires, and the wedge right now at 46, we're going to bring that down as far as possible to 45 and loosen this car up to the absolute maximum it can be as we'll come into the pits now, and we'll get the 4 Goodyear tires. It's going to be a probably sub 16 second pit stop, a 16 flat, actually surprisingly positive, a great positive right there to see it that low, as we'll now get these fresh Goodyear tires and put them to work. So as we get up to speed, now just a few moments later, here we go. Pit lane is flooded with traffic, and as we head down towards turn 1, looking for the 77 specifically. Has he pitted? Yes, he has. There he is right there. So we were racing right there with Hocevar. We're going to come out comfortably in front of him. The question is, can I keep him behind for 12 laps? We're going to even get past the 2 of Cindric, and then there's going to be more cars that are pitting that we're going to pass. It was Chastain, Keselowski, Allmendinger that were all outrunning us. We passed them. We're coming up on, I believe this is the 60 here of Ryan Preece. Yes, it is. Preece, we're going to clear him on the run into turn 3, but he's got a little bit fresher tires than me. Sure enough, he's going to get me back here into turn 1 as you got more cars coming out. Bowman as well, the 60. Huge checkup. We slide, drift, save it. Oh my goodness, what a save. But that completely ruins the strategy as we lost so much time, and the guys that we undercutted like a Hocevar, well, they're right here with us now, and they got fresher tires, and we got guys that just came out of the pits that are on super fresh tires. We might still be able to get a better result, but it's not going to be as good as it could have been. And I mean, what a save we just made. Maybe a race-saving save, as now we are just going to continue to kind of, you know, go down the order because of these guys on brand new tires. Here comes Chastain. You got Joey Logano just behind myself now as we were coming back at the 2 of Austin Cindric. Chase Briscoe, by the way, through all of this strategy, has got himself out in front in that Bass Pro Shops 19. We're 3 wide with Logano and his Penske teammate of Cindric on the run into turn 1. Logano goes through Allmendinger as well. Up the inside as we continue in the middle, we'll clear the 2 on the exit of the corner, and now we continue to just try and hang on. But now, unfortunately, lap 20, Cindric gets back to my inside, and he's bringing Brad Keselowski with him, and Carson Hocevar as well is rolling up to us here with 5 laps to go in stage number 1. Just trying to hold that 77 back now as we are approaching lap 22, right on the back of this number 2 of Austin Cindric. We got a crash. Around goes, I believe that was Allmendinger. Yes, it is. Caution. And that's going to end stage 1 a few laps early, the first incident of the day, and well, we still win out. We got P16 right there, but definitely could have been better, as everybody is going to be coming into the pits. Briscoe does win the stage. We can't really do anything else to the car at this point, so we keep what we have and we get ready to go for stage 2. I just noticed Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson, not sure what happened, but he is behind us in 18th, and he did not lose any track position on that pit stop there in between the stages. So clearly when they made their green flag pit stop, something went wrong with that 5 team, and now they have got a lot of work to do because Kyle Larson went from dominating the first half of the stage to outside of the points at the end. So as we kick off stage 2 alongside the 77 of Carson Hocevar and that Chili's Dale Earnhardt looking as paint scheme right there. Into turn 3 we go, following the number 6 of Brad Keselowski. Big run to the back of him now, and he leaves the middle open. I say thank you very much. I'm going to split through the middle. You have to be aggressive on these mile and a halves here in NASCAR 25. It's just like real life, to be completely honest, and that's maybe the number one thing NASCAR 25 nailed was honestly like restarts at mile and a halves with the AI are absolutely insane, and you have to take every run, every hole that becomes available. You just got to send it, and I think that's something they nailed. That's just so similar to real life on these mile and a halves, and I just absolutely love just throwing this car around like that right there, actually tagging the outside wall, clearing the 2. Fortunately, it gives me a shove, so it doesn't really kill our momentum too much. But now, as we come to lap 4, you can see us battling with the likes of Keselowski and Hocevar as well, as we'll actually briefly take a 3 wide with a nice run, but we're not going to be able to keep it up the inside into turn number 3. So we would pass Hocevar, and then we get back to the outside of Keselowski. You got Kyle Larson actually down this back straightaway into turn 3. He would make it 3 wide, and I was chasing it up the track. We're going to catch the outside wall on the exit of turn 4. Big mistake right there, and we were slowly making progress, and I just completely ruined that. Now as the number 20 of Christopher Bell leads the way, but we would rally back relatively quickly now in lap 8 of the stage, getting back alongside and clear of the 77. Back into P16 we go. But now lap 11, we're going to pit again. We're going to shortcut or undercut these guys one more time and come in at the end of this 11th lap. Still not as far forward as I think we should be or could be, so we're going to pit again, do this undercut, but I can tell you right now, the field is starting to catch on a little bit. So look at the track map. As I'm exiting, we've already got cars coming in, so they're realizing what we did was something that worked, and now we're about to see the pit lane covered within a lap of me pitting as well. So everyone's pitting at the very beginning of the field window. We do pass Hocevar a lap later, comfortably in front of them. So there's some big gains again now as we roll through 3 and out of turn 4. A lot of cars pitting. We're loose. We're sliding on the exit of turn 4. We save it through the grass, off the ground now as we head down this front straightaway, off the ground again, and I lose the rear into the outside wall. Damage done to the right side. Are you kidding me? Off of turn 4, I lose it, and that's going to be 2 back-to-back stages where we do the undercut strategy and something goes wrong that ruins the entire momentum of that strategy. The first stage was none of my doing. That one was all of my doing there. I just completely lost it out of turn 4. And the second big save we've made of the night, that time we did slam into the wall after having all wheels off the ground, and unfortunately, instead of racing up towards maybe the top 10, we're in 19th here, coming up on halfway through this race. Super frustrating. As you can imagine, we do run back down the 77 with help from the 23 of Bubba Wallace. We have 9% damage on the arrows, so that's going to require a sizable repair, probably 4 or 5 seconds at the end of the stage. As Chase Briscoe again, throughout all of this, Chase Briscoe has gotten himself back out front again. That is very impressive now, and it's just at this point now, lap 22 come to lap 23, myself and Hocevar are kind of running together. The guys in front of us kind of just driving away at this point, and we continue down in 19th place as we come through to start the final lap of stage 2. We got a crash. It's Ty Gibbs around in the tri-oval. Caution's going to fly. Stage 1 comes to an end on the final lap here, and Chase Briscoe, not the guy that's been leading all the laps, but clearly they know what they're doing in the tail end of a run, because he has won both stages. 3 seconds of repairs, and I was like, man, I don't know what to do at this point. So nothing's really been working. I make a tire pressure change all around, going up on the tire pressures in an attempt to try and get a little bit more long run speed out of this car, because it seems like we fire off pretty well and then we kind of fade as the run goes on. So I was just kind of throwing anything at the wall at this point, like seeing what's going to stick. And obviously we're down to P26. We've got a lot of work to do here. We have had 2 golden opportunities with undercuts to make up some track position, and we have had issues both times. That means 0 stage points to show for it. Now here's what we got to do here in third stage. we got to do the same thing. That's reality. We have to undercut. That's the only way I think it's going to work out for us, unless we get a caution. I mean, surprised we haven't had a caution yet that's eliminated green flag pit stops. It could very well happen. I'm probably jinxing it as we speak. But this has been an abnormally green flag race so far. I mean, the cautions we have seen have come out at the end of a stage and has ended the stage both times. Now as the 24 of William Byron finds himself out in front, and immediately at this point by lap 4, I was already regretting the tire pressure change because I was noticing the car again had just tightened up so much. We have just overall missed the setup as a whole this weekend, and we're just doing everything we can to try and make up for the flaws of the way this car is driving. I am still confident we can get a good finish here, but it's just going to take a bit more patience, and we have a crash into turn 3. It's the 45. Tyler Reddick into the outside wall. Caution is out. Looks like everybody's going to stay out from what we can see. I don't think we're quite in the fuel window yet, so we will stay out as well.
10 away.
And as we get ready to go back green, we're going to find out. We can go 15 or so laps on a full tank of fuel. So as we come back to the line, it's going to be, well, we got 17 laps to go here in the stage. So yeah, if we pitted, we would not have been able to make it now. So we made the right call, staying out. But here's what we're going to have to do. Already thinking about that pit stop now. We're going to go about 5 more laps, and then we're going to pit. So we're going to, again, just simply revert the change I made and bring those tire pressures back down to 15 PSI all the way around and free up this car, because we might have a little bit more long run pace, but the problem is I'm so tight when I have the tire pressures this high that I'm cooking the tires anyways, because I'm having to put more wheel into it just to get the car to turn throughout the corners. So it's a bit of a lose-lose situation right there. So we continue to fight as hard as we possibly can against the likes of Josh Berry, Kyle Busch, Ty Gibbs, clearing the number 54, and as well Josh Berry getting to my inside, but a big shot coming from behind from this 54 of Gibbs into turn 3 would allow me to get down to the inside. Then I had Berry pushing me down the front straightaway alongside the 2. Bubba Wallace having a surprisingly poor run, and we are already preparing to pit this lap. So again, we're going to take 4 tires, but this time bringing those tire pressures all the way back down will hopefully make a big difference here, and we have to execute this stage. If we don't nail it right here, it's going to be game over. We're not going to be able to get a good finish. So as we exit turn 4, it's going to be 10 laps to go to the line. We'll get down to the pits. We'll get 4 tires on one more time. A third green flag pit stop on the night. It's going to be a 16-2, a little bit slower this time around. And pit road again. Look at the cars already coming in. Everyone's coming in early. And as we cycle back through, look for the 21 and the 23. We're going to pass the 21. We're going to pass the 23. We're going to be right alongside Kyle Busch. So we're not going to have a huge gain, at least on these guys, but we're going to have more gains on a few other drivers that are pitting 2 laps later than we are. And sure enough, there's Kyle Larson, Chastain, Connor Zilish is in front of those guys as well, and we'll pass all of them and get alongside the 6 of Keselowski. Riley Herbst right now. Riley Herbst is leading this race, and he is yet to pit. He is the only one on the lead lap currently as we come through across the stripe on lap 19 of the stage. And once all cycles through, we got trouble. Hamlin and Byron crashing together. Caution's going to fly as we move into the top 10. Riley Herbst is the field, trapped an entire lap down, but he's going to come into the pits now and force everybody to take a wave around as Hamlin and Byron collide down the back straightaway as the 24 was coming back onto the racetrack. And now Riley Herbst has fresh tires and everybody else has old tires as we go back green. It's going to be like 2 or 3 to go. It's going to be 2 to go in stage 3. And after all that, we had just broken into the top 10 because we had finally executed the undercut. We did not make any mistakes. Nothing went against us. And now here we are in a top 10 running position. Can we hold on to it, though? We got fresher tires behind us. That's the one problem of that caution. It brings these tires that are a bit fresher than us right to us. Into turn 3, Chase Briscoe again up front. Can he go win the first 3 stages here from the Coke 600? Coming to the final lap of stage 3, and Briscoe, sure enough, to the inside of the 35. Elliott's to the outside. It's a swamp here into turn 1. 1 lap to go in the 3rd stage here now, and Briscoe to the lead, bringing the number 20, his teammate of Christopher Bell with them now as we exit turn 2. We're going to be right in the middle of this mess now, which is just kind of being ignited by the 35 of Riley Herbst. Where do you go into turn 3 for the final time? Priest on the inside, but Herbst is on the inside. I jump to the middle one more time as we exit turn 4. Briscoe's going to sweep the first 3 stages now as we nearly get turned by the 8, slamming the 17. P9 in stage 3. Absolute insanity on that restart, and we're going to pit for tires and fuel, but we're going to have some more split strategy. Byron, Bowman, and I can confirm others are going to stay on the racetrack. Basically, the guys that pitted latest in that stage are all going to stay out, including Riley Herbst, who returns to the lead. So as we go back racing, stage 4, the final stage of this episode, is officially underway. What a race it has been. And now it's just 25 laps to determine a winner. We're down now to 19th place, but we know basically the top 10 or 12 cars are all on older tires, so this is going to really spice things up. This is going to open up the opportunity for, all of us in this kind of midfield to really work our way forward now, and it's going to be a fight of who can get the track position against who. William Byron's returning to the front of this pack now as we exit turn 4, going 3 wide to the inside of the 60 of Ryan Priest now as we cross the stripe. Lap 77, into turn 1 we go behind the 60 as he re-clears us, and it is a mess. Ty Dillon's on the racetrack in the front of the field, backing things up now as well. We get back down to the inside. Chase Briscoe, I can confirm, is being held up on that far outside by Ty Dillon, so that's really going to hurt his race as we come to 23 laps to go. Now help from the number 11 of Denny Hamlin, bit of contact there with the 12 of Ryan Blaney on the run down into turn 1. Everybody lifting right there, but we get through again, just continuing to make this inside line work with, again, more help as well from the National Debt Relief 11 Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs Racing. Byron leads still on older tires, keep in mind, and right now I think Christopher Bell is the number 1 car on fresh tires, and he's right there in front of us as we're to the inside of Burt Myers, and we're back into the top 10. Here comes Kyle Larson behind us as well to the inside of Denny Hamlin. We're going to take it 3 wide with both Stenhouse and Herbst down the back straightaway. Larson's going to give us a shove on the run down to turn 3, and this is going to bring us clear into the corner, and into P6 we go behind the 20 of Christopher Bell, who we would run right up alongside on lap 80. Coming out of turn 4, Larson's going to give us a shove, and an Alliance teammate pushing me clear of the 20. We are currently the number 1 car on tires, but Larson downright quicker. He's really had the fastest car without winning any of the stages. He is right here in the conversation as we're to the inside of the 54 of Ty Gibbs. Joey Logano in front of us as well. Bowman, Byron all up ahead. I don't like their strategy, by the way. I think they are going to have to pit earlier than the rest of us, and I think they're going to have to pit so early that without a caution, I don't think they can make it to the end of the race. So Bowman and Byron and Logano, I think they're all going to have to pit again a second time before this race is over, unless we get a yellow, which is a good chance that happens. But Kyle Larson, unfortunately, after passing me, would drive away, and now at a mirror full of Denny Hamlin. Here comes the 48 and the 22 in the background. I see pitting as well. William Byron's probably going to not wait long at all. I would expect him to pit here at the end of this lap right here. He might, no, actually, I think Byron will be able to make it, actually, now, as we will leave Denny Hamlin the space here on the exit of turn 2. He's just downright quicker than me, as we are going to do the opposite of what we've done all night long. We're going to run this long, so we stay out. Kyle Larson's pitted, Byron's in, Hamlin's in, Ryan Priest has run me down, and now the call for tires and fuel comes up. But we're not going to pit at the end of lap 88. We're going to go a little bit further, as now through goes Ryan Priest. He'll now pit at the end of this lap. You can see we're struggling as this run goes on, so I wanted as little laps as possible on these tires. So we're going to pit now. We're going to give up a chunk of time. We have seen how much time you can gain shortcutting, but my expectation is this is going to go green. Oh my goodness, we just had like the slowest stop all day, 16.6. Larson's already gone. So is Byron. There goes Hamlin, Bowman, Logano as well. I didn't really think we're fighting them, to be completely honest. Now as we'll get back onto the racetrack, slide on the apron. Josh Berry, who was like 2 seconds behind me, is right on me after I sped by about 50 miles per hour, by the way, into the pits. That shows you how dumb the pit logic is in NASCAR 25 as we continue on. Lap 92, Now working our way back forward, passing Hocevar Jones, Elliott, who's just not put together a good night in this number 9, and with help from Chase Briscoe, who was rallying his way back forward, he had run me down and he had pushed me clear of the 9 into turn 3, so we'll pass him as Kyle Larson's in control of this race, and without the 19 up there, I think Kyle Larson's pretty well got this guaranteed, as we have broken into the top 10 by the time we come to lap 94, but Chase Briscoe, we know he's fast, he gets to my inside, he's going to go back forward here, he'll bring us back down outside of the top 10, but we're going to very quickly run down, Chastain, Wallace, Priest as well in these closing laps now, as Briscoe kind of hit a wall right here, and he started fading as the 48's in. Alex Bowman just comes in here, coming to lap 97. I think he's going to have to pit again. Joey Logano's another one up there, running top 5 in his return from the concussion. I think he's going to have to pit as well, as we are right here with the 19, the 23, the 1 as well. 3 laps to go, fighting inside the top 10. We'll clear both the 19 and the 23 at a turn 2. Into P8 we go behind Chastain. Joey Logano has to pit out of turn 4, and that moves us up at a P7. And now with 2 laps to go, we have got a shot at the top 5, approaching the final lap here in the Coca-Cola 600. Alongside the 60 of Ryan Priest, 1 lap to go. Kyle Larson's in complete control, about to get his 4th win of the season already by the Charlotte Coke 600. We'll clear the 60, we'll get a run on Chastain. This is for P5. What a drive through the field late in this race now. It's not going to be a win, of course, yet, but it's a great effort now as we're going to go into turn 3 for the final time. Keselowski a lap down, not quite sure what went wrong for him, but as we exit turn 4, we're going to get caught behind him. Larson wins the Coke 600. We're going to come to the line and accept a P6 result here. Honestly, I am quite happy with that, considering how the first 2.5 stages went. I would say that was a quite successful race for us in the end. Josh Berry as well gets a top 10. What a race, man. You don't get races that get to play out, a lot of green flag racing like that one did right there. That was a lot of fun. And overall, we didn't score, much stage points, unfortunately, but we did still overall have a pretty successful day, and that was a championship type performance, if you ask me. You had all that adversity that we had to handle, and we were able to come out with a top 10 day, and this sets us up very well going into next episode in Nashville, where I, for whatever reason, feel really confident about our potential there. So I will see you guys in that next episode. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.